All right. A guild friend of mine asked me to critique her Noblesse's play in general, not just for the dungeon she's doing, but just tips to help her improve her gameplay overall. First of all, just looking at this skill layout that she has, not even commenting on her stats or anything. Why do you have soul spread? Why is Eschaton not on the trans bar? What are you doing already? I'm just really disappointed. Alright, so we're going to start the video. I believe she's doing, what is it called? Baron Sander. First dungeon, and Sander as a heroic dungeon. And let's see how she does. It's probably going to be really weird. But I expect good things. Not really. Why do you have that active? Why? Soul Spread is the worst active that character has. It's like completely useless. Even in PvP. Unless you want to style on people. Okay, she starts off the game. She awakens, but doesn't buff herself. This is already an error. She starts out with Lou. Skill changes to Seal with Flick Shot to get full soul points. And I'm assuming she's going to Eschaton. Let's see what she does. No. She does a spear. Don't know why you would do that without using Soul Extortion. The combo is Soul Extortion into Spear. Always. Unless you have full souls already, if you were doing commands for whatever reason, needed mana or grouping or anything like that. If you do not have full souls, do not ever throw the spear. Another reason you would probably just throw a spear out is to charge tenacity stacking, if that's what you wanted to go with. Because Noblesse has like 2 of the strongest tenacity skills in the game. However, I can see that she does not have stacking. So I don't know why she threw that spear. Probably just to group that guy, but she could have just used some commands. Probably dash up, jump X would have pushed them. A couple dash Z's, a little claw swipe could have pushed them. Could have pressed X twice. Could have done a number of things. I don't know why she threw the spear. So she throws the spear. And let's see what she does next. And she uses Eschaton, of course. Alright. Then she uses a buff in front of an enemy that's about to clobber her. Okay, let's see what happens. Gets the buff, but still gets clobbered. No idea why you would ever do this. Okay, continue. She uses Flick Shot again. Using commands, but I don't know why she's using commands on mobs when Seal has a full mana bar. At this point, she could throw a spear. She has 3 souls, and she could have thrown a spear. She could have did Soul Extortion. She could have did Magnetic. She could have a number of things, a whole lot of things, but she chooses to continue to press X. No idea why. So let's keep going. And then for pressing X against the Sander mob, she gets an axe thrown at her. It's pretty funny. And then after all the mobs are dead, she throws a spear. Let's keep going. She skittles up to that guy, uses Soul Extortion, does more commands. It's really, really odd. Does Magnetic Cannon, kills that Supreme mob, throws a spear, does Soul Extortion, but she already had soul, so it's fine. Does more commands and tries to kill those mobs with Demonic Flame. Doesn't work. There was a spear, still not dead. She cleans them up with some commands from Seal. Everything's looking good. I would say she needs to refresh her buff, but instead she runs up and does another Eschaton. Okay, now it's kind of weird. She has skill bonus. She's leading off with a Soul Extortion, which should immediately be followed up by Spear. But let's see what she does. She uses more commands, X. She has more than enough mana to do any number of things on her bar. There's like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's 7 skills on her bar that she can use. And in heroic mode, you get that green man, or not, but golden mana eater. Or I guess eater, because there's a blood eater too. But there's an eater type enemy that gives you random buffs. The buff that she got was skill bonus, which means all of your skills have 0 cooldown. Instead of doing any of the 7 skills on her bar, after she used soul extortion, she just presses X against a shield monster from the front. Why? This is a huge error in judgment. But let's see what she does. Continues to use commands. Uses flick shot on seal. Should not have did that. Should have used a loose skill first, not flick shot. Probably going to see a lot of character to character skills that you always want to use character switching skills with this character, unless there is a specific reason you need to just empty out mana or like end the guy. But at that point in time, she should have used any number of skills. I personally would have thrown a spear, and then from there probably used flick shot on Lou, who seemed to have had enough mana. I would probably use the spirit tea so that I could either use flick shot or go back to seal and use the I think it's on her transborn. It's glowing right now. It's the, what is that spear skill called? I'm gonna look it up. Shadow Bolt on the shield guy, because it pierces arm. Well, I would hope she would have the critical trait so she could ignore defense. But then I would have went there. She's making some really odd choices. So she gets slapped up by the shield guy, no surprise. Uses that weird active on his shield. Why? It doesn't even have super armor. You can be slapped out of it. She gets beat up by that guy. Uses the active again. Gets slapped. Please stop doing this. Dash X. Jump over him. Stop hitting his shield. Alright, we're going to the next area. I'm mad she didn't use that buff. She used it at the very end. I don't even think she got the buff. No, she didn't. She used the buff, but didn't actually get the buff because she waited too long. She uses Shadow Bolt on the shield dude, which is good. Didn't use his Ash. That's perfect. That's very good. That's an A+. Alright. Uses Flick Shot into Demonic Breath on shield dudes. What's next? Uses Macdonic Cannon from the front, which is something you should never do. She also has an Awaken, which is bad, because she's losing out on a lot of damage. She also needs to use her buff again, if she's gonna, like, play a buff Lucille. Still using commands on shield dudes. Please stop doing this. Dash X. Do something that would stun lock them, like Flick Shot, if there's only one on the field. There's something that would stun lock them so that you can get around and hit their back. That's what you want to do. Alright, she uses Flick Shot as Seal, which is, again, stop Flick Shotting as Seal. Switch to Lou, then use Flick Shot. Should always switch to the other character to use the other character switching skill. Alright, as Lou, she goes up to a shield dude, uses... Why? She uses Soul Extortion, and then proceeds to press X. Even though she has, like, a buttload of mana. Well over 200. If you're gonna use Soul Extortion, you should always follow it up with Spear. Spectral Spear is your friend. Don't treat your friends like that. Please. Alright, so she has 2 skills highlighted on her transbar. If I know her, she's probably gonna use Reign of Chaos. Right now, okay, that was perfect. She crossed over the dude after she hit him, because after he swings at you, and you don't do anything immediately after him, he'll like do a little dance, where he'll like stand there for a second. She crossed him up and he didn't turn around. And then she jumped over him to use Rain of Chaos from behind, which does extra damage, which is great. And also hit the guys on the other, since it's like that weird 2.5D, there's like that other pathway that goes up, and she's hitting the mobs back there, and she's also hitting the mobs in the front. It's perfect. This is an A+ move. Alright, right here, she uses Flick Shot as Seal. Then she throws a spear, and now she's getting beat up in the middle of these guys. Uses Shadow Bolt to escape. Pretty good. Pretty good. Uses commands, because she has no MP. Okay, that was weird. She had no MP. She used, I believe, a complete recovery potion. Then switched to Seal instead of using a skill as Lou. And started to use Flick Shot again. And now she's using commands instead of killing those guys. So she uses commands, gets hit for it, as she should. Kills those guys with a magnetic cannon. Comes up to that guy, hits him with a spectral spear. Jumps in front of him. Why? Why would you jump in front of him when he was already turned around? You should have attacked him from the back. I know you're not playing Dreadlord, but it's pretty standard for most any class in the game. You want to hit something from behind because they can't retaliate. For the most part, there's some enemies that do retaliate if you hit them from behind. But Sander, they're pretty much pushovers. If you don't, if you know how to read the very, very minimal, the minimal moveset of the mobs, they only do like a couple moves. Those guys only throw axes. They go super armor to like do a 3-hit combo to knock you down. Shield guys are pretty standard. They just hold out their shield, and if you get too close, they'll smack you because they're in super armor. And bomb guys run up to you and you explode. That's about it. Making a lot of mistakes. All right, let's keep going. Jumps in front of the guy. Tries to use normals. Pressing X in front of a guy. Has super armor. Disappointed. Alright, she's still pressing X. She's kind of low on mana, but she has a full combination bar. So that means that she can use a skill. She runs up to the front of that guy to use Rain of Chaos. It's pretty okay. Then switches, uses Shadow Bolt. She has enough combination points to use that again. And she uses Shadow Bolt in front of his face. Not this case, isn't that bad. Staying in iframes a lot. Using commands. Tries to cross him up. He stands still and takes a full demonic breath in the back. That's great. Unfortunately, she throws a spear at his face when he's telegraphing an attack. That's bad. He's telegraphing another attack. She reads it. Uses more commands. Hasn't awakened or used her buff. Now she awakens in front of his face. Uses Shadow Bolt. Gets hit by that guy. Don't know why she didn't see him or react to him. Gets beat up. Mollywopped even by that guy. Uses spear at his face. It was a pretty good spear because he was low on health. Uses that goofy active for I don't know what reason. Maybe to stun him so she doesn't get hit by the axe. Uses commands. I would have thrown another spear. She uses more commands. More commands. More commands. Weird goofy combo. Alright, going to the next area. Uses buff before the screen ends, which is good. Much better than the other buff. Alright, stands in the middle, assuming Rain of Chaos. Easily take out those guys. What I would have did though is just use Eshkaton because it would have killed those guys that she's killing right now with I think she used, let me go back. So there's 3 dudes right there. She starts out with, wait, what character was she before she did that spear? I believe she was still, yeah, she was Seal when she activated Rain of Chaos. And then she jumps up here, switches to Lou, because she had, check back again, how many souls did she have when she threw that spear? She had 5 souls, so that's great. It was a great spear throw. I 100% approve of this spear. Spears that guy, walks up, uses Magdonic Cannon, and Those guys are basically dead after a couple. Okay, yeah, that was perfect. However, if she had used Eschaton, it would have killed. Well, it should have killed all those guys there. But I think she made the right call because I don't think her damage was enough for it to actually kill them all. So, I approve. She leads out the fight with a spear into flick shot into Reign of Chaos. Not bad combo to start the fight off. Then go straight into hyper. Okay. Not bad. However, I'm gonna say this right now. She's not paying attention to her nobility buff. She has no nobility buff at all, so she's missing out on a lot of damage. The hyper could have did a lot more damage if her nobility buff was at 10 stacks. She had 0 stacks, and her actual, I believe that's called the Aura of Punishment, which increases your critical damage. It was going away, so I don't know why she didn't reset herself or set herself up so that she could build up more nobility and then use the hyper after she had full nobility and had refreshed her Aura of Punishment buff. That is the critique that is the critique I'm giving that hyper. Negligent of your character's buffs. Alright, so after that, she throws a spear, but she didn't. She make sure. Okay, after Castle Abaddon ends, she throws a spear. Horrible spear throw. Why? She should have switched to Lu, used... This is going to be the tip for your Noblesse. Just 101. Always be Lu, and then you use Soul Extortion, and then you throw a spear. That is how that is going to go down for now and forever. Unless you were using commands to get mana or grouping, and it gave you enough souls. I'd say the minimum souls is 3. If you have at least 3 souls, then you can throw a spear as Seal. If not, do not throw a spear for no reason. Unless it is specifically on like 1 or 2 enemies that you know it's going to kill. If it's not that specific scenario, do not throw a spear. Okay, so she throws a spear. Probably just the build combination bar. Alright, now she's Seal. Switch back. Gets bodied by that boulder. The boulder! From Avatar Last Airbender. She jumps behind him. Does some more X commands. I'm assuming to build mana. Even though she does have some Spirit Tea on deck. But I guess she's not a fan of spamming pots. Stands in front of his face. He's telegraphing an attack. He swings. She's kind of slow on her attacks. She's really like kind of standing around a lot. I would hope she would speed it up just a little bit, but I don't know. So she does, I believe, was it a spear? Let me go back and check. So after she jumps over, he swings, floor fire. She presses X, has a good position, throws a spear. She had enough souls to throw that spear, so I approve of that. Then she's in his face, and as Lu, she does Shadow Bolt. No, you should have flick shotted. That is what you should have done. Or you could have soul extorted into Shadow Bolt, which would have been a much better decision, in my opinion. You also need to refresh your buff. Your buff has been gone for quite some time. So I do not approve of that move. Alright, she does Shadow Bolt, gets out of the fire. Then she does Soul Extortion, and then she's about to probably get hit in the face by that rock. And she does. Alright, now she uses the buff, but I don't believe that she was paying attention to his choreograph. So his telegraph of throwing a flying friggin' Castlevania skull at her. So he throws a skull, and she dodges it with a well-timed awakening iframes from the awakening saved her from that skull. That was pretty good. That was pretty slick. I don't know if she did it on purpose. I'm gonna give her credit this time. That was pretty nice. It was kind of unnecessary. You could have dodged it beforehand, or jumped on that platform to the left and been a little bit safer, but that was still pretty slick. I approve of that. But only if, you keep up those reaction times. Throws a spear again. Throws a spear. Oh wait, how many souls does she have? Before I accuse her of doing something crazy. Okay, she had 5 souls, so it's fine. It's fine. She had 5 souls. She throws a spear, and she soul extortions. She gets blown back by that rock, because I'm assuming her trigger finger wasn't fast enough to use that Rain of Chaos that she just used after getting hit by the skull. Uses the iframes to dodge his super armor swing. She jumps over him with the double jump. Does a shadow bolt. So far, this is looking really good. Does a Magdonic cannon. The bad thing about Magdonic cannon, you cannot use it in a mob's face that is in super armor because it will not do full damage. Magdonic cannon is supposed to be used in a very precise way because when you shoot Magdonic cannon, it goes a very finite distance away from you, unless you're like standing at a wall, in which it will like stay on the wall that you're like standing on. So you need to position yourself so that the Magdonic cannon, the actual I guess blue explosion mist stuff, you want the enemy to be directly inside of that mist. If you shoot it and more or less miss the big blue mist ball, then you're missing out on all of the damage that Magdonic cannon would do. If you're just using Magdonic cannon just to charge your soul meter combination bar, then I still don't approve of that, because then you could have just flick shot. If you're not going to use Magdonic cannon properly, you probably should have just flick shot it, because they give you about the same amount of iframes, and in that position it was just a really bad call. Alright, and her nobility buff is going out. This is not good. Not good at all. Alright, so Shadow Bolts gets knocked down. Her nobility buff is basically gone. Throws another spear. Does Rain of Chaos. A really relatively weak Rain of Chaos. And then what was that move she just used? So she used Rain of Chaos as Lou. And then she used Flick Shot. Then she threw a spear. How many souls did she have when she threw that spear? Chaos. Flick shot. Spear. That was a bad spear throw. Then uses Magdonic cannon again, wrongly. Uses demonic breath, but doesn't go into Eschaton. Don't know why. If you spam demonic breath, you press the skill button repeatedly, and you have enough combination bars, you can go directly into Eschaton. You have not used Eschaton once this entire fight. That's a flaw, because the more skills you use, the other skills will go off cooldown faster. So I disapprove of this greatly. Alright, she uses Shadow Bolt, then uses Rain of Chaos. Really good damage. Would be even more if she had her buff on and had nobility fully buffed. Uses commands. I don't know why. She has plenty of mana to do whatever she wants. She uses a very, very good Magdonic cannon. She gets full damage. I think that almost did 3 bars. Let me go back. Yes. So 3 bars. Wham! Does a lot. Okay, no, not 3 bars. It did like 1 3/4, more or less. But that was some really good damage. Really, really good damage. Does some more commands. Uses demonic breath. Doesn't quite finish him off. Dodges with a well-timed rising Rain of Chaos. Alright, so overall, okay, the game says she got SS rank. I say that's bougie. That is more like a D-. Lots of errors all over the place. Huge room for improvement. For one, take that stupid active off. That active is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Oh, she also got an actual drop. She got some unique unique vision gloves. Huge room for improvement. First thing, remove that active. Change it to hunting prey. Change it to What else? What are the options you could change that to? You could change it to hunting prey. You could change it to triple shot. You could change it to have a couple seal skills. Have another seal skill. You could change it to Twilight Judgment maybe if you really wanted to. You could change it to. You could use Strong Strike. You could use Soul Eruption. I don't know why you would, unless you're using a lot of commands, which I don't know. You seem to like using commands, and if you're going to use commands, having a super armor active that actually does damage and will kill those trash mobs would do you better. What else? What else? We also got, you need to manage your spectral spear throws. Like, that is priority number one. Look and pay attention to your buffs. Manage your soul count. If it's 3 or higher, then you can throw a spear as seal so that you build combination points. If not, you do not have any because you didn't use any not actives, but if you didn't use any commands, then you always soul extort as Lou, and then you throw the spear as seal. Only way you're supposed to use that. Another thing is that you need to start managing your nobility. Your nobility buff is paramount into increasing your damage by a lot. It will increase your damage by almost tenfold. It is a really, really, really good buff for your character. You need to manage it and have it at 10 at all times if you can. If you feel like your nobility is running out, run up to a mob or a door or a chest and use soul extortion on it if you can. If not, then that is when you use commands to build up your nobility. Other than that, I'd say it was okay. I can see why you've been struggling in dungeons, but overall, this was a pretty okay dungeon run. You're being carried by your gear only. If you had lower gear, you would be forced to actually get better at the character. Right now, you're just kind of derping around. But I'm not going to try to come off as too harsh, but these are all my complaints that I have so far. And with that, I will bid you farewell. And good luck.